Imagine walking through life wearing an invisible suit of armor. On the outside, everything looks calm, composed, even enviable. You rarely cry at funerals, you don't get angry in traffic, heartbreak feels more like a mild inconvenience than a catastrophe, and when others are falling apart, you're the one handing out tissues while feeling almost nothing. To the world, you seem strong, rational, unbreakable. But inside, there's a quiet emptiness, a sense that something vital is missing. This is the hidden reality of emotional detachment, sometimes called emotional numbness, emotional unavailability, or in its most extreme form, alexithymia and schizoid patterns. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on why some people live their entire lives emotionally disconnected, what it really feels like from the inside, how it costs them and everyone around them, and most importantly, whether it's possible to reconnect once that switch has been flipped off. This isn't about cold-hearted villains or sociopaths. We're talking about ordinary people, your coworker who never gets excited, your partner who can't say, "I love you," and mean it, maybe even you, watching this because something about this topic hits a little too close to home. Let's begin. Part 1. What emotional detachment actually is, and what it isn't. First, let's clear up the confusion. Emotional detachment is not the same as being introverted, stoic, or simply chill. Those are personality traits. Detachment is deeper. It's a persistent difficulty or complete inability to experience, express, or even identify emotions in real time. People who are emotionally detached often describe it like this. I know sad things happen, but I don't feel sad. I can see my girlfriend is crying, but it's like watching a movie, it doesn't touch me. I've achieved everything I wanted in life, but I still feel nothing. There are different levels. Mild detachment. Emotions are muted, like listening to music with the volume turned low. Moderate, emotions are present but locked away, you feel them physically, tight chest, not in stomach, but can't name or process them. Severe detachment, a flat emotional landscape. Joy, grief, love, fear, everything registers at near zero. It's also not the same as depression. Depressed people usually feel intense negative emotions, sadness, guilt, hopelessness. Detached people often report feeling empty rather than sad. So where does this come from? Part 2. The roots. Why some people become emotionally detached. Emotional detachment almost always starts in childhood, but it can also be triggered or worsened by adult trauma. Let's look at the most common origins. Early childhood neglect or emotional invalidation when a child cries and no one comforts them, when their excitement is met with "stop being dramatic," or when showing vulnerability is punished, the child learns a dangerous lesson: emotions are unsafe. Better to turn them off. Over time, the brain adapts by lowering emotional volume to protect itself. This is especially common in homes with alcoholic, narcissistic, or emotionally absent parents. Chronic trauma or abuse children who grow up in chaotic, abusive, or unpredictable environments often dissociate as a survival mechanism. Dissociation literally splits awareness. If I don't feel this, it can't hurt me. For some, this becomes permanent. The brain keeps the firewall up long after the danger is gone. Avoidant attachment style John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth's attachment theory shows that when caregivers are consistently unresponsive, children develop avoidant attachment. These kids learn to self-soothe and suppress needs for closeness. As adults, they become the classic "I don't need anyone" type, proud of their independence, but deeply alone. Alexithymia, the inability to name emotions. About 10% of the population has alexithymia, higher in men. They literally lack the internal vocabulary for feelings. Ask them, "How do you feel?" and they'll say, "Fine," or "I don't know," not because they're hiding it, but because they can't access it. Cultural and gender conditioning. Many cultures, especially those that value stoicism, shame men for crying or reward women for being low maintenance. Boys are told, "Man up," girls are told, "Don't be too sensitive." Over decades, entire societies produce emotionally muted people. Protective response to later trauma. Some people were emotionally open as children but shut down after betrayal, grief, or burnout. A devastating breakup, the death of a loved one without support, or years in a soul-crushing job can flip the switch. The mind says, "Never again." Part 3. What it feels like from the inside. Let's step into their world for a moment. You watch friends cry at weddings and wonder what's wrong with you. You achieve major success, promotion, new house, dream body, and feel a brief, "ha, nice," before the emptiness returns. You're in a relationship, and your partner begs for more closeness, but you genuinely don't know what they want from you. You're already giving everything you have. You can be surrounded by people who love you and still feel like you're on the other side of thick glass. Many emotionally detached people are highly logical, responsible, and competent. They often rise to leadership positions because they don't get derailed by feelings. But privately, many struggle with a deep sense of being defective or not fully human. Some describe it as living in black and white while everyone else sees color. Part 4. The Hidden Costs of Emotional Detachment. It looks like a superpower with a terrible price. Relationships suffer the most. Partners feel unloved, even when the detached person insists they care deeply in their own way. Intimacy requires emotional reciprocity. When one person is a desert, the relationship slowly dies of thirst. Friendships stay surface level. The detached person becomes the rock everyone leans on, but no one really knows them. Physical health takes a hit. Suppressed emotions don't vanish, they go underground and show up as chronic tension, autoimmune issues, IBS, migraines, or heart disease. The body keeps the score. Mental health paradox. Many detached people don't feel depressed or anxious because those are emotions too. But when the wall finally cracks, often in midlife, the flood can be overwhelming, leading to breakdown or breakthrough. Perhaps the biggest cost is meaning. Emotions are the compass of human life. Without them, people chase money, status, or achievement, reach the top, and still feel hollow. Viktor Frankl said man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in life. Emotional detachment cuts the cord to that search. Part 5. The Different Faces of Detachment. Not all detached people look the same. The Ice King/Queen, cold, critical, openly dismissive of emotions as weakness. Often narcissistic traits. The robot, logical to a fault, speaks like a textbook, socially awkward but not unkind. The performer, learned to fake emotions convincingly. Great actor, but it's all surface. The ghost, avoids closeness altogether. May live alone, few friends, content on the surface but profoundly isolated. The wounded romantic, desperately wants connection but panics and pulls away when it gets real, classic fearful avoidant. Part 6. Can you heal from emotional detachment? The short answer, yes, but it's not easy, and not everyone wants to. The brain is plastic. Emotional capacity can be rebuilt, but it requires willingly walking back into the pain that caused the shutdown in the first place. Effective approaches. Trauma-focused therapy, EMDR, somatic experiencing, IFS, to process frozen emotions safely. Body-based practices. Emotions live in the body. Yoga, breathwork, dance, and somatic therapy help reconnect mind and body. Mindfulness and labeling practice. Learning to notice microsensations. Tight jaw equals anger. Warm chest equals pride. Secure relationships. One safe person who doesn't give up can slowly teach the nervous system that closeness isn't dangerous. Psychedelic-assisted therapy. In clinical settings, MDMA and psilocybin have shown remarkable results in reopening emotional centers for people with severe detachment. Grief work. Many detached people have decades of uncried tears. Allowing grief is often the doorway back to joy. But here's the catch. Healing requires wanting to feel again, and for some, the armor has been safety for so long that taking it off feels like death. Some choose to stay detached and live functional, if lonely, lives. Part 7. How to love someone who is emotionally detached. If you love someone like this, understand. It's not about you. Their walls predate you by decades. Begging them to just feel something makes it worse. Don't take their detachment as rejection. It's protection. Lead with safety, not pressure. Small, consistent acts of non-demanding presence work better than grand emotional displays. Encourage therapy gently, but accept they may never change. Protect your own heart. Closing. The bittersweet truth. Emotional detachment is one of the most misunderstood psychological patterns. From the outside, it looks like strength or indifference. From the inside, it's often a prison built to survive a war that ended long ago. Some people spend their whole lives behind the wall and die never having tasted the full range of human experience. Others, later in life, find the courage to feel again and describe it as being born a second time, painful, messy, overwhelming, but finally real. If you recognize yourself in this, know this: the capacity to feel never actually leaves. It's buried, not broken. And sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is allow themselves to fall apart. Because on the other side of numbness isn't just pain. It's love, joy, meaning, aliveness. Everything that makes the human journey worth taking. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this touched something in you, let me know in the comments. You're not defective. You're not alone. And the door back to yourself is still there, even if it's been locked for decades.